Welcome to episode 2 of Creating a Legacy. If you haven't watched episode 1, please go and check that out first. What I'm doing is, I'm managing West Ham United. We're in the Olympic Stadium, the London Stadium. We're trying to create a legacy. The Olympics was all about creating a legacy, so that's what we're doing in this series. And to be honest, the first season went so well. We've already started to create a legacy at the club. We're starting to embed some of the young talent at West Ham and sign some young talent from outside of West Ham as well for the first team. So in today's episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you the new signings and outline my aims for season 2, and then we'll skip ahead till the end of the season and I'll show you how I got on, because that's what this series is. It's just a recap series. I might show you the odd spectacular goal, something that stands out from a particular season, but that's this style. It's the complete opposite of Regen Rovers. If you enjoyed episode 1 and you're enjoying episode 2, please smash the like button. That would be very much appreciated, and as ever, just let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I think last season, finishing 6th, I couldn't really do much better than that, if I'm honest. That was the highest I could expect. I thought 7th would be the highest position I could finish, but somehow we finished above Man City. It's the start of the season. Arsenal have managed to win the first game of the season, the Friday night match. Our first match of the season will be against Everton in the league. We've got a relatively easy start to the season. It's not, I mean, there's tough teams there, but we've not got the big boys in the first few games. We've qualified for the Europa League group stages, so there's been no faffing around in Eastern Europe, playing some teams I've never heard of in the qualifying stages. We're going straight into the group stage. It hasn't been drawn yet, but let's hope for a relatively easy draw so we can get through. My aim for this season is to try and win that competition. If I don't win that, then I'd like to at least get into the top 6 again, but that's going to be a tough ask to do it second time running. To qualify for the Champions League, I think our best chance is to win the Europa League, so that's why I'm aiming for winning that competition, and it's probably why I've put together quite a big squad this year, just so we can cover all bases and make sure we've got a large enough team to put out a decent squad in every single match. You'll see some nice names in there. Yuri Tielemans, I managed to sign him. Callum Wilson. There's a few new signings. There's also a few promotions from the under-23s team into the first team as well. And I have made a few sales as well. And a few guys have gone out on loan. So, let's have a look at the transfers then. You can see a lot of players going out of the club. The biggest fee was Cheku Kouyaté going to Middlesbrough for £8.75 million. He's an interesting player, Kouyaté, because I don't feel he's a great tackler on this game, but I don't think he's that great in real life. He's a good box-to-box midfielder in real life, but he's not very good at passing. He's not particularly good at finishing. I would say he's a better centre-back than midfielder in a way. He's just got that drive about him that works well, I guess. But on the game, it doesn't really replicate in my eyes. And his first season on this save, he played 12 games in the Premier League, a few games in Europe as well, and he was just a bit part player, a backup, and that's why I thought I might as well sell him. I was hoping to get £11 million from Napoli, but in January that deal fell through, so I've sold him to Middlesbrough, who are in the Championship now, for £8.75 million. I think that's an okay amount. Now you might be a bit shocked by this one, selling Jose Fonte to Sunderland, the Portuguese international, ex-Southampton captain. Considering West Ham signed him for £8 million, it is a massive loss. 950k is all I could have managed for him. But I have this thing about certain players who are a bit old. I don't think he's going to offer a huge amount to the team. He's the same ability as Reed and Ogbonna, and also our new defender that's come into the team, who I'll show you in a minute. And I do want to bring through the likes of Reece Burke and eventually Reece Oxford as well. So to have him there, it's kind of detrimental. He wants first team football. He's not going to get it here anymore. I preferred Reed and Ogbonna last season, so I've got rid of him. His time at West Ham didn't last very long. Spiegel, goalkeeper, third choice at the time, has moved to Lyon, of all teams, for 100k. He's always had this sort of background potential that he's never really got, because he's 24 years old on this, and he's never reached that potential. He's always been the third choice goalkeeper for West Ham for a number of years now. So I've got rid of him because I've brought in Sam Kusters, the Dutch youngster, and also I've brought in another goalkeeper, so I don't actually need him. Players leaving on frees, lots of young players going. Adrian's gone on a free. He's not actually found a club yet. Decided I didn't need him anymore. Players going out on loan. Reece Oxford has gone to Derby. He's not going to be in the first team this year. He didn't play a huge number of games for Reading last year in the Championship. Let's hope he gets a few more games under his belt this year for Derby. Reece Burke was the much better centre-back out on loan. I actually prefer Reece Burke in real life. I think he's going to be the better player. Reece Oxford could be a star player, but he's still very young. It could still go either way for him. Other players going out on loan. Martin Samuelson, George Dobson, Diagana and Marcus Brown, who I've got high hopes for. He didn't do anything for Wigan last year and basically came back to us and played for the under-23s, but I want him to get some Championship first team football under his belt. He's a good looking player. He's got 15 on passing and relatively pacey as well. I do hope he can progress and turn into a decent player for us, but he's a player that could go either way, and by the time he is good enough, maybe we've progressed to the next level. And the other big one going out on loan is Andy Carroll, who I tried to sell. Tried to do a part deal with Bournemouth for Callum Wilson, but that fell through because he didn't accept the wages that Bournemouth offered. So I've loaned him out to Granada for, I think, £1.3 million over the entire season. And they're paying some of his wages. And they're paying 42 grand of his wages. Or am I paying 42 grand? I don't know. Anyway, they're paying some wages. He just doesn't fit into our system. I can't seem to get the best of him if I do play long football anyway. He scored 2 goals last year. He was an injury-prone player, of course. Well, he had that one big injury, came back, didn't actually get injured after that point, but he hardly played. So he's gone to Spain, and they have the option of purchasing him for £10 million at the end of the season. So we'll have to see if they do that. The other player going out on loan is a goalkeeper that we signed, but I'll show him in a second. So coming into the team, the big money move is Callum Wilson. £32 million, possibly rising to 35 million. Yeah, that's a lot of money. I know. It's a huge amount of money. But he scores goals. Last season, 18 goals for Bournemouth, 15 in the league. And to get a 15-goal season striker in the Premier League, I think nowadays they're going to cost upwards of £30 million. That's just realistically how much they will cost. Of course, in real life, he's had severe injury problems. He recently picked up another terrible injury, which I feel really sorry for him. But he didn't actually get injured last year, so I'm hoping on the game he'll be okay. Yeah, I think he will bang in the goals for us. I've got high hopes. He's a quality player on this. He really is. Maybe a break into the England team eventually as well. He's only 25. So there's still a few good years in him. He's only really getting to his peak now in my eyes. He's pacey, which is what we missed last year with Huntelaar. He was just too slow. He's not quite as good as finishing as Huntelaar, but he's got pace. He's still a very good finish. Got good composure off the ball, anticipation, everything you need from a striker. He's got 15 on passing as well, so I'm going to be playing him as a complete forward up there. Good technique, dribbling. He's just a really good player. And you have to spend big on these sort of players. Like I said, I did want to try and get him. I think I bid 27 million plus Andy Carroll. So it's not a huge amount more money. And we keep Andy Carroll. We might be able to sell him for 10 million at some point. We shall see. So very big high hopes for him. The next player is Augusto Batalla, something like that. He's Argentinian. He's a young goalkeeper, 21 years old. High hopes for him. He's got potential. The only problem is he doesn't have a work permit. I signed him anyway. I knew he wouldn't be able to get a work permit because it was rejected twice. So I decided to just sign him anyway, in the hope that he can pick up a work permit eventually, because he has gone out on loan to a Spanish team. So I'm hoping if Brexit doesn't occur, or there's not a hard Brexit, we'll be able to get some sort of work permit from him eventually. If not, then I guess we can try and sell him on, because he might have a couple good years out on loan at other clubs and impress, and we can sell him anyway. £6.5 million does seem quite a low figure for a goalkeeper that could be a good Premier League goalkeeper in the future, I think. He's already the same quality as Randolph, and he's only 21, so I think he can be better. But the main man, Yuri Tielemans. I love this guy. I loved him on FM15. That was sort of the time when everyone started waking up to the fact that this guy was a real star. He's only 20 years old on this save. 20 back in May. He's just such... you've seen the videos this year of his goals in real life. They've been insane. He should have a higher long shots rating, that's for sure. So hopefully on FM18 he will. But he's just such an all-rounded player, can play anywhere in the attacking half of the pitch and also defensive midfield. Good passing, first touch, technique, flair. You know, he's a creative player. He's still got a long way to go to being a world-class player, but I think he can get there. I managed to develop him to being a world-class player on FM15, so let's hope we can do the same. Now, I signed him for 18 million, rising to 19. I think he'd signed a new contract. It might be on the... I don't know on the update if he has the release clause, because I did have to pay a bit more than the release clause of the original FM17. But anyway, it's still quite a low figure for someone who could be a world-class player. And lastly, Diego Llorente comes in on a free. Really good centre-back, Spanish centre-back, 23 years old. There's still a chance for him to improve a little bit further as well. He's going to be 24 very soon, but he's got one cap for Spain, so they obviously rate him. He's been on loan a couple times from Real Madrid, but they decided to not give him a new contract. But I think he's a brilliant centre-back and is the same ability as Ogbonna and Reed. I couldn't really not sign him. I know I've got Reece Burke and I want to bring him into the first team, but to pass up the opportunity to get someone like Diego Llorente on a free, you know, it would have been a bit stupid. So this is the squad for Season 2 of Creating a Legacy. Pretty pleased with it. I haven't signed a right back, which you might think is a bit strange, especially those of you that do support West Ham, because West Ham fans are always going on about sign a right back. But I'm pretty happy with Sam Byram. He has improved over the past year, and I want to develop him into being our main. Anyway, he is our main right back, but just, you know, improve him further, because I still think there's a bit of a way for him to go, and he can become maybe not a first team England player, but on the periphery. On FM16, I did manage to improve him to being able to get a few caps for England, so I'm hoping that is the case. But Llorente can play right back as well. Very good, actually. I think he had a 3-star current ability when I put him at right back in pre-season. So he can cover there, as can Reece Burke, who's got the ability to play there. So Sam Byram will be our main right back, but Reece Burke can fill in, or Llorente can fill in if need be. Which I know West Ham fans will think, that's what we've been doing the last year and a half, just filling in. Antonio at right back, Kouyaté at right back. But yeah, I couldn't really find anyone else for the right amount of money to come in. So I feel Llorente can play there very well. He's not just... He's relatively natural at that position, so I don't think it's too much of a problem. We do still have some money left, £19.6 million. Not a huge amount on the wage budget though, so we probably won't sign anyone else, and we'll just save that for January if need be. Financially, the club's in a great position. Obviously getting high attendances now. We've got European football. We did well in the league last year. Big TV money. We're financially incredibly stable and should be for many, many years to come. I did try and sign John Flanagan, by the way, but he wanted a lot of money, so he would have been the backup right back. It was a cheap deal, but he wanted like 70k a week, and for John Flanagan I thought that was just too much, if I'm honest. I'd rather play Byram there. So yeah, pre-season wise then, we did lose the first game, which was against Man City at home, but then we went to China. We won 4-0. Huntelaar scored, Faguli scored a couple. We drew against Jingzhou Yujing Senti. IU with the goal, and Carroll as well, ironically, considering he's now left. Then we beat Shanghai, Greenland, Shenzhou, Fernandez and Sacco with the goals. Hangzhou, Greentown, Lanzini, Sacco and Valencia. And Valencia's back as well, by the way. Did try and offer him up, but no one wanted him, so he's an option up front or on the wing. Aubameyang and Huntelaar scored against Ghent to win that game. 5-0 win against a very weak opposition in pickup. Callum Wilson scored a hat-trick in his first ever game, and Chielemans also scored in his first game. And then we beat Barnet 3-0 thanks to Lanzini and Faguli. So lots high morale going into the first game of the season. So the aims this season, like I said, try and finish 6th if possible. Secondary aim, try and win the Europa League. That's what I'm concentrating on. I'll concentrate on that more than the FA Cup and League Cup, that's for sure, because that has the opportunity of qualifying for the Champions League, of course. So you will join me very soon. In fact, for you, it will be instantly at the end of the season. And here we are, the 16th of May 2018. And as you can see, it wasn't quite as successful this season for us. We finished 14th in the league, but we've done rather well in a couple of other competitions, which we will have a look at in a minute. We only managed to win 9 league games all season, which is pathetic, really, isn't it? That is terrible. We drew 16 games. We were draw specialists. We only lost 13 games, which is the same number that Stoke City lost, and they finished 6th in the position we managed last year. So last season, 73 points. It's been a right drop-off, down to 43 points. That is awful. But we still managed to get a positive goal difference, which I'm pretty proud of, really. Man United ran away with the league, 95 points. They just destroyed everyone with Dybala up front. He was just insane. If we just look at the stats, actually, a second, you can see he was top goal scorer. Jermaine Defoe, once again, with a ridiculous season, 24 league goals. For us, on this list, Obiang, 14 yellow cards. It's not really a positive list to be on. Feghouli did actually get the joint 9th highest number of assists this season with 8, which I'm quite surprised with, actually, because he did okay but wasn't spectacular this year and has actually lost his place in recent times due to a change in tactics. So like I said, we've had a good season in a couple of other competitions, and I'm going to end this episode 2, with 2 live comms. Now, originally I wasn't going to do any live commentaries for this series. It was just going to be a review of each season. But I thought, if we've got a cup final at the end of the season, whether it be Champions League, Europa League, FA Cup, then I will show that game. Things like League Cup, World Club Championship, they're in the middle of the season, so I won't show those live. But any games we have at the end of the season for a cup final, we might as well show. Just get some excitement behind the team. And we've actually got 2 cup finals today, so it's going to be quite a long episode too. I hope you don't mind. You can always watch it in chunks, I guess. But you can see we've got the Europa League final against Man City, who've done well in that competition as well. Remember, they finished 7th last year, so they did qualify for the Europa League. They had to go through all the preliminary rounds, and they've managed to get to the final to take on us. That will be taking place at the Parc Olympique Lyonnais. And then we've got the FA Cup final at Wembley against the mighty Manchester United, who have been dominant on this save. I've not done very well against the big teams at all this season, especially in the league. It's just not been great at all. Let's just filter out the Premier League to start with so you can see how we got on. You can see, start the season, 3-2 defeat against Everton, and a new star signing managed to score a goal. We'll have a look at the signings in a second. Did I? I know I've already spoken about him, haven't I? I can't remember what I talked about in the first part because it's so long ago. In fact, let's just have a quick look at the transfers. Yeah, I haven't made any more signings this season. However, there have been quite a few transfers. Mainly loan players. You can see here we loaned out Andy Carroll to Granada of all teams. But he has come back and played a big part in the last third of this season in particular. We did loan out our goalkeeper, the Argentinian who we signed. Didn't have a work permit, so we loaned him out to Levante, where he had a bit of a topsy-turvy season. Whenever I got the loan reports back, he was either pretty good and got like a 7.1, or terrible and he was getting like 5.9s. He's ended up with a 6.63 average rating. I don't know where they ended up this season. I think, yeah, they did survive, but only just. And he didn't play that well, I suppose, over the entire season. But Nordvet was actually worse. 6.45 average rating. I don't know how the hell he's done so badly. But I think I'm going to have to sell him in the summer. Andy Carroll, as you would expect, he didn't do particularly well out on loan at Granada. He's not really suited to Spanish football, is he? He's managed to score 1 goal. He came off the bench mostly. I suppose that was the problem. But since coming back, he's been really good. I recorded him in January, hasn't played every game, he's picked up a couple knocks as Andy Carroll always does, and he's actually managed to score 6 goals, 3 in the league, 2 in the Cup, the FA Cup, and 1 in the Europa League. So he's been a very important player for us since coming back, and he's got a very strong average rating as well. I've changed the tactic and it's just kind of suited him a bit better. We've also loaned out Huntelaar back to Holland. I think there's some sort of transfer involved with the deal. Maybe there isn't. I will have to try and find a permanent club for him in the summer, because he's not really part of my plans anymore. And we sold our new player, Llorente, the Spanish defender. He was so unhappy about not being a first-team regular. Although he did play 20 league games for Leicester, I think. He played 8 league games for us, 11 in all competitions up to the January transfer window. And when he did play, he wasn't good enough. 6.65 average rating in the league. It just didn't work for him at West Ham. And I thought, well, I signed him for free. Let's get some money for him. He was worth a bit more than 10 million, but that was the best bid that came in for him from Leicester City. We got a £10 million profit, so I'm pretty proud of that. That's good business, in my opinion. Finding a player on a free, selling them on 6 months later for some money, didn't fit into my team. It was causing all sorts of problems in the dressing room. Had to do a couple of team meetings because of him, which isn't ideal. Another player that actually has been a problem is Tielemans, because he was expecting us to be, qualifying for the Champions League, as was Winston Reid. I think Callum Wilson's a little bit unhappy about our performance in the league. But we could qualify for the Champions League anyway. If we manage to win the Europa League, we qualify for the Champions League. It's going to be a tough ask against Man City. In all likelihood, we're going to lose 2 games in today's episode. We're playing 2 huge teams that should be beating us, and we've been pretty unsuccessful against the big teams this season. But Tielemans had a good season in England, first season in England. You can see he scored 8 goals in all competitions, 3 league goals, few assists as well, decent average rating from the midfield. He's just so versatile. It's kind of hard to find a really good role for him, but he's improving. He'll be a quality player if we can hang on to him. I know Man City were actually sniffing around not long ago. I don't know if they still are. No, they're not interested anymore. He does have a £46.5 million release clause. So if a team bids that, a Champions League team bids that, then we can't do anything about it. Anyway, getting back to the fixtures, you can see that we did manage to pick our first win up against Swansea, and we had a couple of good wins against Leicester and Newcastle. I thought, it's going to be a decent season where we're losing or winning over those first few games. We lost against Chelsea, we lost against Man United, but they weren't too bad. They weren't thrashings. Tottenham, though, are our nemesis. I've lost every single game against them by quite a high margin, and they've managed to sign Belotti, who I signed for West Ham on FM16, and he was insane for me last year. I'm surprised they only had to spend 25 million. I should have bought him. I don't know. He would have gone to Spurs over us, to be fair. Although he's not scored that many goals. 11 goals. Callum Wilson, at one point this season, I was regretting signing him. I didn't think he was going to be good enough. He picked up a bad injury as well. But he's come back and done rather well. And he's done better than Belotti, although he did score a hat-trick against me, which is just irritating when that happens. We went on a bit of a barren spell here. We couldn't seem to buy a win. Lots of draws. Managed to beat Wolves. Managed to draw against Arsenal, which was pretty decent. But we lost against Chelsea 3-1. Beat Newcastle 4-2. But look at that. So many draws and losses here. We lost 4-3 against Sunderland. An inspired Defoe performance once again. We lost 3-1 against Spurs. And it was just annoying. But I suppose we never really got thrashed completely in the league, which is how we ended up with a positive goal difference. We managed to beat Watford 4-0. Josh Cullen scoring. We'll have a look at player performances after these 2 games, by the way, just to look at average ratings and all of that sort of thing. And a couple of draws helped us to a 14th place finish in the end. Andy Carroll scoring our last league goal of the season. But if we just look at the EFL Cup, we lost 5-2 against Man City. Lanzini did score 2 goals, but that's why I'm a bit worried about today. We have been thrashed by Man City already once this season. Europa League-wise, what a brilliant journey this has been. We did actually lose our first game in the group. Where am I going? What's going on here? I've clicked on the wrong button. Here we go. Yeah, we lost the first group game against Salzburg, but we managed to beat the Israeli team, Beersheva, 2-0. We beat Molde from Norway, 2-0 and 4-1. As we then got revenge against Salzburg, 5-0. But look at this, 7-1 win. And Callum Wilson, this was the game where he came alive. He came back from injury and he scored 5 goals in 1 game. That is just ridiculous. No matter what opposition's in front of us, that is a brilliant performance from him. He got a 10.0 rating for that game. Sensational stuff. And we went from strength to strength because we managed to beat Sporting 3-1 on aggregate. Tielemans playing a big part in those two games, and a really good performance against Napoli in the first leg at home. Tielemans scoring again, Callum Wilson also scoring. Lanzini, as ever, just sensational from him, helping us win 3-0. 3-3 draw away from home as well. That killed that tie off. Callum Wilson with 2 goals. Leverkusen was a bit more of a struggle. We lost the first game 1-0 away from home. We couldn't get an away goal, which I thought was going to be a problem. But at home, we beat them 2-0 despite Josh Cullen getting sent off in injury time. Valencia with a late goal to get us through to the semi-finals, where we lost the first leg against Lazio. Valencia scoring again. Valencia scored a lot of goals this season. Come back from Everton. In real life, West Ham fans have slagged him off over the past year, and he's gone to Everton in real life to try and find some form, I think. And on this save, he did okay at Everton, but not amazing. He's come back here, and he's our second top goal scorer this season. That away goal, I thought, could be important, but we didn't really have any problems in the second leg. We managed to turn it around and win 3-0. Carroll, Wilson and Antonio with a late goal. So we're going to play Man City today. It's going to be really tough. They're missing David Silva and Zabaleta. We've got Snodgrass. He's been injured. He got a 5-month injury. Really bad. So it's not the end of the world, especially as I'm playing some slightly different tactics now. But FA Cup journey, we'll just have a look at that before we crack on with the live comms. It's been a good journey. Managed to beat Wolves in the third round, sorry. We then beat Aston Villa after a replay. 3-3 cracking draw in that first game. That was a good result for them. But away from home, we went to their place and thrashed them 4-1. Enner Valencia with a hat-trick. We then managed to grab a draw against Chelsea. Andy Carroll actually scored in the 84th minute before Costa equalised 2 minutes later. That was Carroll's first goal of the season, by the way, for West Ham, coming back from Granada. But in the replay, we won 2-1. Tielemans scored, they scored, Antonio scored the winner in 70th minute. Brilliant stuff. And the sixth round, the quarter-final, was pretty comfortable against West Brom. Tielemans, Noble and Ayew with early goals in this game to send us through. And a fantastic performance against Arsenal. This was one of the first times that my new tactic really just performed brilliantly. We won 2-1. Carroll and Wilson with the goals. That was enough. So we're playing Man United. So I keep talking about this tactic. I've gone for wing-backs, a wing-back tactic. I was using this. No, I wasn't. I was using this, sorry. But it's all messed up now. Brilliant. I hate it when it does that. Yeah, so we're playing wing-backs. I've fiddled around with the instructions a bit, but it has worked much better since starting to use it. I can't remember the first time I used it. But we're just really struggling in the league, and I thought I need to find something that works a bit better. And it worked against Watford, it worked against Lazio and Arsenal, a couple of draws lately. It can be quite defensively solid, but if I choose to be a bit more open going forwards, I'm able to do that as well. So this is the team that's going to take on Man City in this potentially famous night for West Ham United. We've not won a major trophy since 1980, that FA Cup final against Arsenal, where Trevor Brooking scored the winning goal. West Ham have won one European competition in their history, the 1965 Cup Winners' Cup, that old competition. I quite like the sound of that competition. All the cup winners around Europe taking on each other in a competition. I'd quite like them to bring that back. I think maybe that instead of the Europa League could be a good option, in fact. So this is the opportunity to win our first ever Europa League, UEFA Cup competition, whatever you want to call it. And we're playing Randolph in goal. Sam Custers has developed a little bit this season. He's been playing for the under-23s. He's played one league game. That was an accident because I'd put him in for a Europa League game. And you know when you forget to take a goalkeeper out? Well, I did that. So Randolph's only missed out on one league game this season. Randolph's contract is up in the summer. He's not accepting a new one at the moment. He's done well. Really good average rating this season. Performed better than he probably is on paper. I would like to get a real quality goalkeeper and then keep Custers as the backup. I think that's the plan. Anyway, I'm blabbering here. Burke, Reed and Ogbonna make up our three-man defensive line. Now, Reece Burke has managed to win an England cap at the age of 21. Really good stuff from him. He was good out on loan last season. He's come back and he's been our best centre-back. Average rating-wise, he's been solid. And He's gone up to a 3.5-star current ability according to my assistant, which is the same as Ogbonna and Reed. Now, selling Llorente didn't really matter too much because I had lots of cover at centre-back, but suddenly, playing 3 at the back, I don't have any backup centre-backs. Oxford's going to come back next season. I want him to slot in that left-hand side, in for Ogbonna. Reed is a good stopper in the middle. That kind of works well, I think. Ogbonna's great, but I'd love to develop Oxford to be on that left-hand side. Oxford's done okay this season, out on loan at Derby, but they've had a real trouble trying to survive. I don't know if they have managed to. Yeah, they did. Not that far ahead of the relegated teams, though. Fulham and Leeds have come up so far. So to actually get a really good average rating in the league, despite Derby conceding goals, being towards the bottom of the table, it shows he's a quality defender in my eyes. So he can come back into the team and hopefully slot in nicely. Maybe I could sell Ogbonna, make a bit of money. He's 29 now. If I want to sell him, this is the last chance. But he's been good as well this season. He had a great season last year. Byram's playing as a wing-back. Funnily enough, he prefers to either play right-back or right midfield. He's not really suited to wing-back, but he's going to play there. Masuaku has been the better of him and Creswell this season. He's got the higher average rating. I've been impressed with him. I think he suits a wing-back a bit better than Creswell as well. So we're going with him. Obiang and Noble in the middle. Now, Noble was out the team first half of the season, but he's come back, he's won his place, he's been pretty solid. Originally I was playing him as defensive midfield, I was fiddling around with the tactics a little bit, but now he's playing as a central midfielder defend alongside Obiang as a deep line playmaker, which does keep Tielemans out of the team for this game. Lanzini has been sensational, and he's going to play as the advanced playmaker, our best player. He has to play there. Wilson, 21 goals this season. Like I said, I was worried about him at the start of the season. He got injured for a couple months. I was kind of regretting spending so much money on him. I know some of you probably think it's stupid to spend £32 million on Callum Wilson. He only scored 7 league goals this season, but in Europe he scored 12 in 10 games, 2 in the FA Cup. So 21 goals in all competitions. That's 1 in 2 record almost. If you exclude the sub appearances, there it is a 1 in 2 record. That's pretty good going. He's a 20 goal a season guy. That's what I wanted. And you have to spend £30 million for a 20 goal a season player in the Premier League. I know he didn't score 20 goals in the Premier League, but you know what I mean. Hopefully next year his league form will improve, and Carroll alongside him, who's been great since coming into the team. Now, I'm just going to do the sneaky thing where, oh no, I can't for Callum Wilson because he's unhappy with me, because we've underperformed in the league. But what I'm going to say to Carroll is I'm going to praise his conduct. That will improve his morale slightly, and we'll do the same with some of the other guys as well. And that's increased some of the morale in the team. We might as well do it with the subs as well, to be honest. It's a bit sneaky, but it works. Just increases the morale a little bit. 99% of the time this works. I learnt this trick from Fox in the Box. If you haven't checked him out on YouTube, go and do it. Okay, we're eventually going to get on with this game. On the bench though, Custas, Creswell, Tielemans, Cullen, Antonio, Fernandes and Valencia. As you can see in this series, in this save so far, we've only managed to beat them once and they've won the other 5. So we're really up against it. So Yuri Tielemans is actually our key player, even though he's on the bench. Sergio Aguero, of course, the Man City key player. We could see Callum Wilson on that list though of top goal scorers. Jermaine Defoe, 2nd season in a row he's scored 41 goals in one season. He's ridiculously overpowered. He's amazing, I know. He's a brilliant finisher, but on the game, since the winter update, he's been on some sort of crazy drug. So they're playing the formation that I used for quite a bit of this season. Let's see how our pretty strange thing matches up. It's more of a modern tactic. It's what a lot of teams have been playing this season, I guess. 3 at the back, wing backs. What shall I say to the team then? Avenge what happened last time? That always motivates them, doesn't it? Give a bit of a boost to Andy Carroll. Now, depending on my opposition, I do change these instructions. Now, is hanging on to the ball a good option? Perhaps we could go standard. Hang on to the ball, look for the overlap, float the ball into Andy Carroll, who can hopefully win the ball in the air. If we exploit the flanks with Byram, let's exploit the right flank with Byram, and he can knock it over to the back post to Andy Carroll. That's the idea anyway. In fact, what I could do is get him to cross to the target man, which is Andy Carroll, and cross more often. There we go. Start match. I'm nervous because this is an opportunity to qualify for the Champions League. We've got two opportunities at qualifying for Europe today. Either the Champions League by winning the Europa League, or qualify for the Europa League by winning the FA Cup. If we miss out on both, it kind of feels like a failure this season, because I've sacrificed the league to try and do well in the Europa League, and if we end up losing both finals, then that 14th place in the league does actually look worse. And I don't know, maybe the board would sack me for that. If I win a trophy, though, I think it was worth it. It was worth the sacrifice. I'd rather win a cup and finish 15th or 14th than... Oh, we've taken the lead through Callum Wilson. Byram with the cross, but it's the other guy. Wilson, that gets the goal. Brilliant. Oh, it's good to see that instruction work well in regards to Sam Byram crossing it. It didn't go to the target man, but it went to the complete forward in Callum Wilson. And we're 1-0 up. But Man City straight away on the attack. But Masuaku wins that quite easily, but then loses it. But Reed clears it. Andy Carroll does well to win the header, but Wilson can't get on the end of that. I'm surprised to see Vincent Kompany. He's not injured. He must have his Zimmer frame on the pitch, though. As Randolph makes a good save. Corner to Manchester City, which Bernardo Silva, what a player he is, whipped it in. Randolph caught it quite easily, though. Let's put Man City's formation here so I can see if they're making any changes. Here they come. Aguero charging forwards. Maybe I should go a bit more defensive now. We're 1-0 up, or counter even. Hit them on the break with some pace. But Man City have got back in it. Aguero with the goal. It was just too simple, and that's his 36th goal of the season. What do I do to change that? Perhaps I don't think we're going to be able to retain possession against Man City. We'll be more disciplined. Well, game on now then, eh? 1-1, and it looks like it's going to half time. We've only got it on key highlights, by the way, just so I don't want this video to be 5 hours long. What do I say? Shall I be positive, assertive? We can still come out. Yes, with a win. That's worked. I'm going to say to Andy Carroll, there's a lot more to come from him, and to Lanzini. Oh, whoops, I pressed delighted. I'm not delighted, really, with Lanzini's... Oh, dear. Slip of the mouse just can make a massive difference. Ogbonna and Reed haven't done particularly well at the back, have they? So you see, I'm playing these two ball-playing defenders in Burke and Ogbonna, who my idea is to get it out to the wing-backs or to the midfielders. Okay, let's just start the second half. They have been the better team in regards to shots and half chances, but 50-50 possession, we've done okay, haven't we? They've just pushed De Bruyne up there and Aguero slightly back. Oh, it's tense, it's tense. I think I need to make some sort of change. There's a few players getting quite tired. Oh, maybe bring Creswell on for Masuaku. Just change, give us a bit more legs down. In fact, let's exploit the left wing now and get Creswell to cross it in more. Near post, Andy Carroll. Near post has been quite overpowered this year, I find. Although I've been quite successful at getting Byram to cross to the back post for Carroll recently, so yeah, let's see. Randolph with the goal kick, or free kick, or whatever that was. Here's Lanzini losing out to Gundogan, who's on a yellow card. Will he get a second? That would be nice. Noble, oh, he's done well. Reed clears up to Callum Wilson, into Andy Carroll, back to Callum Wilson. Lovely one too. He's knackered. He has the shot. It's wide. He just looked like he was running in quicksand then. We're just very tired, but I can't bring Wilson off, surely. Carroll's knackered. Everyone's knackered. I probably should bring one of Noble or Obiang off. Probably Obiang. We'll bring on Tielemans. Noble is the more defensive of the two. Although, no, Obiang's better at tackle. I'm going to bring Noble. I know, because if it goes to penalties, Noble's better at penalties. I think. He must be. Yeah. I think Obiang, he's an absolute monster, but the sensible option is to bring him off, just in case it does go to penalties. I'm going to knock it... We're going to go more direct. Yeah, let's do that. We need to make some sort of change. Here's Man City with a free kick. Uh-oh. Oh, we survive for the time being. Sam Byram, oh, he's done really well, actually. Oh, no, a corner to Man City. It's whipped in. Oh, Kompany. Why? Well, we're going to have to go overload now. I'm going to bring off Winston Reed for Valencia and play him up front as an advanced forward. Carroll will play as the target man. We're going to go route 1. Overload. Yep, we have to do this. Noble's going to drop there. Tielemans is going to play there. Attack, advanced midfielder. Byram will play complete forward attack, complete wing back attack. I hate goals from corners that win games because it's something. Oh, it's annoying. Let's watch this. Was there an error in there? Nasri whipped it in. Company. Where was the marking actually? That was pretty poor from us. That's frustrating. I think that probably will be the winning goal. Minute to go, another corner, and that's the winner. Aguero kills it off. I don't think we deserved that. We've done well. We've done well to hold Man City out, and it's 2 corners. De Bruyne whips it in. Who was that? Missing the ball. Carroll. Andy Carroll got 19 on heading, and you've just missed that. That is poor. And Randolph pulls off a really good late save to prevent it from being 4, but we've lost this final. It was going to be tough, wasn't it? It was definitely going to be a tough game, and we've been unlucky in the end. We got an early goal, but they just pushed forward and were too much for us in the end. At least we were the overachievers in this competition. That's something to be proud of. Byron was our best player, 7.7, got the assist, a couple of good tackles in there as well, we saw. Although he did make the most mistakes at the same time, strangely enough. I suppose he was just trying to be a bit adventurous down that right-hand side, so probably gave the ball away a couple of times. Man United have the advantage as well, because they didn't play on Wednesday, I don't think. So, this is going to be hard. Even harder than the Man City game, I think. Because Man United have been dominant. They've won 31 games in the league. This is the team we're going with then. Same team. No changes. Ogbonna's a little bit tired, as is Burke. But I think I have to go with the same team. I could play Tielemans instead of Noble. Obiang's not been great lately. It's just that midfield. Hard for them to pick up good average ratings, I find. I'm going with this. Wish me luck. Take 2 then, our second final of the day. We're at Wembley for West Ham United versus Manchester United. They're your favourites, as you would expect. And this is their key man. He scored 34 goals this season. I'm going to get Winston Reid to man mark him, I think. That central defender. And they're quite solid. They're defensively very good. They've got this back 4 with Herrera playing in front. Ashima's something like a deep line playmaker. Pogba and Nainggolan as well. What a partnership that is in the middle. And then a deadly trio up front. Mkhitaryan, Juan Mata and Dybala. I don't know how we're going to keep them out, but let's just try and be positive. We will get in the faces of the players. In fact, maybe we should just close down. I've got it on counter at the moment. Let's say we owe the fans. Oh no, we owe Man United, sorry, for what happened last time. I think, do we retain possession? I don't know. I think we need to play fairly wide and try and hit early crosses into the box from the wing backs. Don't think we're going to get past them. So if we hit the early crosses in, and then I'm going to get Winston Reid to mark him, mark tightly. I'm going to get Sam Byram to cross more often, but I'm also going to get him to mark Mkhitaryan. This is going to be really hard, I promise you. They've been incredibly good this season. We'll get Masuaku to mark Mata and cross more often as well when he's able to. So that's what I'm going with. Wish me luck. This is going to be so hard. Please. I don't want to lose 2 finals in one episode. Let me know if you think this is a good idea, having the live comms, by the way. Maybe you just want to see recaps and that's it. You don't want to see me lose final after final. Maybe. As we get rid of that corner, I've changed the corner tactics. Defensive corner tactics. I've just fine-tuned them a bit to make sure they're okay. Man United come again on the attack. Already 3 minutes into this game, Sam Byram easily... Oh no! Ogbonna could have run towards that. I mean, it wasn't the best of passes from Byram, but there was loads of time for Ogbonna to go and get that. I mean, we're not helping ourselves by making mistakes. Look, Ogbonna was just looking the wrong way, I think, actually. Brilliant. I mean, I don't mind losing if we play well, but if we make mistakes like that, then we've got no chance, have we? Let's encourage the guys. Yeah, like I said, you might not want me to lose see me lose every single final. We might not get to a final every year, but I just thought it'd be nice to show a couple games at the end of this episode, but we've ended up embarrassing ourselves, embarrassing myself. I think we're going to have to attack if we want to get back into this, aren't we? If we exploit the flanks and attack, speed up the tempo, try and get down the wings, put the ball into the box for Carroll and Wilson, we might have an opportunity. But it's a corner to Man United. Mkhitaryan crosses it in. Good header away once again. Here's Lanzini breaking. It's up to Callum Wilson, who's got the pace. It's back to Lanzini. Lanzini out wide to Sam Byram. Good ball over to Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson tackled. Noble! Oh, the captain, Mark Noble, with a beautiful goal from outside the box to make it 1-1. We're going back to counter. What a strike with his weaker left foot. Great ball in from Byram. Wilson does really well I think it's just a deflection actually from Nainggolan. And what a brilliant strike from the captain. And it's 1-1. We're back in this game. That was our first shot of the game. Oh, can we do this? Sam Byram's on a 6.1 because of his mistake, but that was a great ball from him to help set up that goal. Assertively, keep going up there and you can still win today. Let's just encourage them. Noble is on a yellow card. He is an important player to keep on there because if it goes to penalties, he's great at penalties. What do I do? Do we keep it like this? Play at defence, higher tempo, keep hold of the ball? I think so. Start second half. They haven't created their own opportunity. We're the one that created that clear-cut chance for them. Here come Man United though in the 56th minute. First highlight of the second half. Looking dangerous. We're not closing down. In fact, I don't really have it on close. I think closing down's on sometimes. Maybe I should put it on a bit more. Here they come again. Nainggolan, good block. Don't think we're going to be able to get hold of this though. Here's Luke Shaw putting it in to Mkhitaryan. Good save, Randolph at the near post. This is tight. Another corner for Man United. They've had 11 corners and we've defended everyone brilliantly. Another good header away. But here's Mata. Uh-oh, Pogba can hit them. It's blocked. Here's one Mata. Good defending by Sam Byram that time. But it's another highlight straight away in the 63rd minute. Mata crosses it in. Smalling scores. It's a set piece. A set piece. Again. This time it's not a corner. And we're going to have to attack again, aren't we? Let's be more expressive. Do I make a change? I could bring Antonio on for Byron. Play, a much more attacking option down that right-hand side. Play complete wing-backs on attack. And run at defence. Just get those two charging at them. Especially Antonio. Half an hour to save this final. Can we get back into it? We're more likely to go attacking and concede another, just like in the last game. Smalling just beat Byram in the air. Oh dear. He had a good final against Man City. He's been good this season. Unfortunately, he's made a mistake, and that one he just wasn't tall enough to beat Smalling. He was the wrong player, really. Here's Wilson! Oh, he's hit the post! So unlucky. It wasn't even considered a half chance, that, so it really was unlucky. Lanzini's tired, Obiang's tired. I think we're going to have to bring Obiang off for an attacking play on Tielemans. And play him as a roaming playmaker. 15 minutes to try and get back into this. Let's float the crosses in. Play more direct. Get stuck in. Close down more. Just more intensity from us. Can we do this? Can we get back into it for a second time? It doesn't look like it, does it? We're going to throw on Enna Valencia for Winston Reid. Noble will drop back. Tielemans will go there. We're being dangerous. We're being very dangerous. We have to do it, though, to try and get back into this. Overload it is. Take more risks. Roam from positions. Come on, please. 5 minutes. We've got a highlight. Here's Ogbonna into Reece Burke. Blasts it up the pitch to Andy Carroll, who can't win it. But here comes Reece Burke again. Oh, no. Noble go. Oh, no. No, there's no defence. This is going to be a third. This was an idiotic thing to do, wasn't it? Why did I do that, Paul? Oh, well. I went a bit too attacking, didn't I? 3-1. Ogbonna. I mean, just if you're going to hit it, at least hit it hard enough over the players. Antonio's not running back because he's on a winger attack as Dybala makes it 4. Yeah, that was my fault. You have to risk it though, don't you? At that stage, 5 minutes to go, you just have to go for it. It sometimes works, more often than not it doesn't, but yeah, never mind. This is going to end 4-1, which looks a lot worse than it should have been, really. We held them out well for about 80 minutes, apart from a mistake and a set piece. But Man United are FA Cup winners in 2018. Yeah, 2018. I'm going to say you're unlucky. So that's the end of the season for us, guys. We end the season with 2 defeats, 3-1 and 4-1 in the finals. We go again. We're going to be stronger next year. We're going to have no Europe to distract us. That is a problem because some players basically wanted Champions League football to stay. Winston Reid is an example. Tielemans wanted us to do very well this season. Callum Wilson's upset that we didn't do very well. There might be a few players leaving the club, but hopefully we can get big money for the players that do want to leave and strengthen, improve the youth, bring Oxford through, bring Burke through, Josh Cullen as well. If we just have a quick season review, then you can see Randolph did make the most appearances. Ogbonna was next, and Sam Byram. Goals-wise, Callum Wilson, top goal scorer, 22 goals this season. A 1-in-2 record if you discount his substitute appearances. But next, Enner Valencia, 17 goals. Really good season from him. Lanzini continues to impress with 12 goals. Antonio, much better season from him with 10 goals as well. Tielemans got 8 and Andy Carroll ended up with 6, which is not bad going. Assist-wise, Lanzini top with 17. Figuli got 12, despite not having the best of seasons average rating-wise, but 12 assists in 23 starts, 11 sub-appearances is not bad at all. Antonio got 11, Wilson got 7, and Tielemans got 6. Player of the matches, Antonio won the most man of the match awards. 4 for Lanzini and 3 for Callum Wilson, but average rating, this is where the consistency really shines through. You can see Lanzini, 7.15. Reece Burke, the second best player this season, average rating-wise. Ogbonna up there once again. Maybe I shouldn't sell him because he was once again consistent, as was Winston Reid. Masuaku played well. Kustas, 7.1 in his 5 appearances for the club. Really good stuff from the young goalkeeper who's only just turned 18. Randolph had a really good season. I think I should try and offer him another contract if I can't find a real good quality goalkeeper. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a work permit for Batala just yet. I might never be able to. We'll have to see, won't we, on that one. Players that didn't perform very well. The players out on loan. IU wasn't great. He came back from another severe injury. 4 goals, 4 assists, but his average rating, 6.8, still decent. It's not terrible. I've had a lot worse on other saves. Snodgrass, 6.85. That 5-month injury just really ate a chunk out of his season. Colin had a decent first season for us. 13 starts, 12 sub-appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist, an alright average rating. Don't know what to do about Deidre Sacco. 4 goals in 5 starts, 5 sub-appearances, 6.9. He picked up another injury this year. He's wanted by a few teams. If I can get 10 million for him, I'll be happy. Probably won't be able to get that much though. We'll just have to see. But thanks for watching episode 2 of this Creating a Legacy West Ham series. It's ended in disappointment, this second season. We're going to lose finals. That's just the fact of the matter. You can't win every single final. And we had to come up against 2 very strong teams. We're just a bit unfortunate really in that regards. But next season, the aim is to finish... Because we've not got Europe, I think we need to be aiming for 7th or 6th. Try and get a European place. And possibly win either the League Cup or the FA Cup. That would be nice. I think you'll understand this series won't be that regular. There was a week gap between episode 1 and today. Because I'm playing the save. It takes time to play the save. And there might be a bigger gap between this and episode 3. Because I'd already finished half of series 2 once when I uploaded episode 1. So I'm not sure when episode 3 will be. I might put a few updates on Twitter here and there. A few screenshots and that sort of thing. So keep your eye on that if you haven't followed me. All the links are in the description below. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. That would be very much appreciated. So until next time, enjoy Football Manager 2017. I will see you very soon.